and welcome to the New Jersey Career and Life Decision Lab. Hopefully you found me on Meetup, and if you found me elsewhere, let me know in the chat section. So without further ado, let's go on. I wanted to tell you first about my group vision, a community of humans who want to help normalize the uncertainty of navigating through life's transitions by sharing perspectives, being great listeners, and providing simple support. The simple support is really important to me because I think as overthinkers, we think we have to go above and beyond and do all these crazy things in order to support one another. When honestly, a lot of times it just comes from, hey, can I offer you a hug? And that's about it. So this is my vision of the community, and I really want your help in order to build it out and would love, love, love to hear your feedback on what's going well and what could be done differently. Because this community, it's for you. It's really for you to help normalize going through these life uncertainties that we have. Who am I? Hi, I'm Gloria. I'm an associate certified coach by the ICF. I'm an ex-mechanical engineer and I'm a design thinking facilitator. And my coaching practice is built on helping overthinkers make decisions and help bring back joy into their lives. That's it. Helping you figure out how to make those decisions and what is getting in the way, and giving you the coaching structure and facilitation to help you move through that. What's on the agenda today? I want to introduce ourselves, what the comparison trap is, why you still do it, what you really want instead of the comparison, and the cost of breaking free from the comparison, and how to create a version of comparison that is actually useful. So, since we are talking to my friends on YouTube right now, I have a lot of discussion questions peppered in throughout this presentation, so feel free to this video, answer the questions, and then come back. I would really love to hear how you answer those questions to help us create that community even asynchronously. So, in one word, I want you to describe how you felt the last time you compared your life to someone else's. My word is heavy. And I just want to let that sit there. Heavy. Heavy because I start seeing the gaps between my life and someone else's, and that spirals into feeling like I'm not doing enough, that I'm not good enough, and it's basically this shame spiral if I let it continue to brew. Specifically, I want to know, how does a comparison really show up? So I want you to finish this sentence. You know when you've fallen into the comparison trap. When? For me, it's when I notice I am pointing out a lot of things about this other person's life that I feel like I'm gravitating towards. Like, I really like how they presented themselves, or I really like what they said there, or they seem like a very intelligent person, or they have this really cool thing that maybe that's the thing that I want. And I find myself gravitating towards those things because it's creating this gap between where I am and where they are. But if I let that keep happening, there's consequences we're all get into later. But what really is the comparison trap? It's a habit. It's ingrained in you. You fall into it because you feel like you're supposed to. And you've been tricked into doing it because you've been doing it all your life. You've been conditioned to follow a particular blueprint. All these things that you have done to get to where you are today, they have worked. You've been taught to move through a certain path, through school, grades, promotions, etc. And you've been living more or less a scripted life, hitting these milestones without asking, do you actually want this? You just want these things because you keep vying for this place of accomplishment to feel like you can finally feel done. You were guaranteed success when you followed this path. And now that you're gotten that achievement, that you've gotten this success, now you're like, wait, what else do I do with my life? You might be successful on the outside, but you don't feel fulfilled inside. So you keep that habit because you believed in the blueprint working to be the last thing that you had to work for on creating. That meant stopping that when you stop to wonder whether or not this is the thing you want, you're also questioning your existence, your identity, and possibly disappointing a lot of people along the way. So that's why you don't stop to wonder whether or not this is the right decision. Because honestly, not doing that wondering is the safer thing to do for you. To not be disrupted, to not rub people the wrong way, to not let people know in this life that you have is unfulfilling. So you go along with what most people do in the blueprint that you keep following, even though it doesn't feel right for you. So can you think of a time that you achieved something because it was the right thing to do, but in the end, it just didn't feel right? How did it feel? What would you have changed about that decision? And I know exactly how this feels because I was that person. I have two older sisters that I copied nearly relentlessly. I did flute because of my older sister. I did hurdles because of my older sisters. I did engineering because of my sister and my dad, because I thought it was the safest thing to do. And I kept going down these pathways because at some point, one of these things were bound to work out, right? It had to. After all, these people ahead of me, they did it and they were successful. So how come it couldn't happen to me? I just needed to copy them. But what happens is that I started to feel behind, as if comparing to other people's felt like a mile marker that I wasn't getting to, because it wasn't creating that sense of security that I thought would be created when I got to that point. I had more anxiety by trying to do the same thing, by comparing my life to my sister's. And that was what created the comparison trap for me. And trying to quit that habit, oh boy, for an overthinking brain, first of all, I just want to validate, your overthinking brain is amazing. You are great at problem solving. You are creative. You don't have to be artistic to be creative. The creativity happens inside your head with all the critical thinking and pattern sense making that you are making. After all, that brain is what got you where you are today. Successful, at least on paper, but now you're starting to treat your problem as if it has something to be solved, as if your life is a problem to be solved. So you try to figure out and maybe reverse engineer some of those backwards steps to get to a safer place, to get to a place of calm. And life is too complex for that. Life is too complex to reverse engineer everything in this giant entanglement that is your life, that your overthinking brain simply crashes. It gets overwhelmed. So what you try to do instead is almost blame yourself. I don't have the right mental stability. I don't have the right reframes or perspectives. And there's a lot of truth to the mental strength. You do meditation, you do mindfulness, yoga, retreats, exercise, GLP-1, everything under the sun. But when you do that, and even leaning into a lot of those self-help books that you can get your hands on, none of that solves your unfulfillment problem. Because no matter how much you do these things, you're doing them because you're comparing yourself to the outcome and the results that everyone else has had from doing mindfulness, from doing meditation, from doing all of these things. And you're trying to create the same outcome that they have without fully putting yourself into it. And that's why it's so hard to quit the habit of comparison, because it's not that you actually want what they have. And it's not that you actually want to do the thing that they are doing. The thing that you actually want is the confidence that they have. So the gratitude journals, the meditation, none of it solves the blueprint problem. Standard fixes fail. You go into a self-blame loop. and you keep rationalizing and over rationalizing why these fixes just aren't working for you. The truth is, like I mentioned earlier, is that you're not looking to do the same thing that they are. What you really want out of it is confidence. It's the confidence that they have because of the thing that they've done. It's the security that they now feel because of the thing that they've done. The thing that you're missing is that they have chosen those particular things with intention, intentionally deciding that this thing that they've chosen will work for them. That's what helps them create the confidence for them. That's what helps them create the security because they are choosing and deciding to do this thing that is going to help them. That is where the mind shift happens. So, how do you get to that place? It feels so far away. Confidence is not a prerequisite to taking action. Sometimes we think that in order to do mindfulness properly, to do meditation properly, like you have to have all the things in place in order for it to actually go well. But that's totally not true. One of the definitions of meditation is to be and to sit with your discomfort, and that discomfort can be the lack of confidence, and figure out and meditate through it. Confidence is built, not found. The second thing is that you keep treating life as if it's a blueprint. Just because somebody has done it and they have gotten successful with it doesn't mean it's necessarily going to work for you. So what I want you to do is make small decisions. That real control comes from observing how those small decisions feel. You build confidence little by little, not by pivoting and doing a 180 with your entire life and trying to go all in with something. You need to work on those small decisions. So, for example, my client was stuck contemplating whether or not he could pivot into cancer research because he had no experience in biology, despite being extremely intelligent with all these other fields that he has experience in. Despite it all, that overwhelm made him assess other career options almost incessantly. And every session, he would bring up another career. He ended up bouncing between so many options. And after one coaching session with him, he left with the homework to look only into cancer research. Just that one, narrowing it down to one small decision. And only just for the next 2 days. That's it. That's all I had him do. At our next session, he told me that this simple experiment stopped his overwhelm and panic because he saw pathways to doing the research, doing the cancer research that were actually viable. It also confirmed that he was actually interested in it because he found the field fascinating and wanted to keep learning more about it. So with the small experiments, what you're looking to do is to make small decisions for yourself, to prove to yourself that this is the thing that you want to keep doing. Because honestly, you are out of practice. So here's what I want you to try. Identify the choice that you're testing. Design a small experiment to test one aspect of it. Run the experiment, and this is the most important part. Assess how you felt afterwards. Is this a feeling that you want to create more of? Is it aligned with your values? Does it make sense that this feeling is coming up? And if you don't know your values, I want you to send me a chat message or place it in the comments. And I will send you a short workbook on how to figure out what your values are and where to start. So, what are some examples to put this into practice? Experiment 1, the career trial. Spend 30 minutes in your home office pretending to work in a fictional venture. Like, for example, you really want to do entrepreneurship. You know that you want to work from home and you want to just be in that space and get your home office all set up and everything like that. What I don't want you to do is to never try it out. What I really want you to do is give yourself 30 minutes. And if 30 minutes is too long, just give yourself 5 minutes. 5 minutes sitting in your office. Maybe you have your notebook in front of you. Maybe you have your email in front of you. And just start to visualize yourself in that space. Visualize what does it feel like to be an entrepreneur, working from home, to be working on the computer, working in your notebook. What does that really feel like? Let yourself feel whatever is coming up without judgment. Just let yourself feel all those questions. Because I guarantee you'll start having more visuals, you'll more questions around what does this really look like than ever before when you really let yourself put that persona on. So another example could be maybe you really want to just say no to going to a particular social gathering. You feel pressure to go, but you're just so tired. And usually you end up traveling and going because you don't want to let anyone down. That's a people-pleasing habit. So here's what I want you to try. Spend 10 minutes writing out the story of attending that dreaded event. What is actually happening? Where are you? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Who are you talking to? Or are you not talking to anybody? Are you grabbing a drink? Are you grabbing some food? What is actually happening? How are you thinking about going to this social gathering? Are you anticipating that it's going to go poorly? Are you anticipating or looking forward to seeing a couple of people? Really write out this entire story as if it has already happened. Because what that does in the brain is that it makes it real. It makes it visual. And you can look back at your writing as undone. You look back at your writing and ask yourself whether or not these things are going to be true, whether or not it will actually work out this way, and prove yourself wrong or right, or whatever decision that you're trying to make. Is that writing helping you prove one way or another? So that's the evaluation that I want you to do. Does this feeling move you closer to what you value or not? What is the cost of breaking free? The cost of breaking free is that you don't have any more blueprints to follow, that you have to design your own. You are leaning on new voices for alternate perspectives that what you initially trusted, your initial trusted circle have told you. You're looking for those alternate perspectives. And another cost is that feeling insecure, uncertain, and discomfort with not knowing what's immediately next. But over time, your decision making ends up being a reflection of who you are and your voice. That uncertainty is totally normal when you start deciding how you really want to live your life. That's when it starts becoming and feeling really complex, overwhelming, feeling really aimless. And I hear this a lot from my clients who have been used to living a structured world, that they end up living so quickly that they want to get to the next right answer as quick as they can. But the irony is that when they try to jump through a lot of these steps, they end up needing to go backwards anyway, because the giant step and that giant leap that they're trying to make ends up not actually being the one that they want to take. It's only the one that they've been told to take, or that they have embodied and been felt like they believe that they need to take, not the one that they feel like they want to take. But once they start embarking on their coaching journey with me, while they often feel overwhelmed initially, what I instill with them through our coaching partnership is a sense of empowerment to finally choose for themselves, to not be scared of choosing themselves, because that's what really matters. To keep choosing decisions with intention that are in alignment with who you are. That's how you get to fulfillment. Not by copying what other people have done, not by doing these things that you feel like you're supposed to be doing. Not blindly following everything else. So, recap. Comparison means following someone else's blueprint. That's what's been holding you back this whole time. That structured lifestyle, that feeling of achievements were guaranteed. You are actually following someone else's script. So to break that habit, to break that comparison, I want you to make small decisions. Practice the habit of choosing the choices you really want to make, and then evaluate by identifying the feelings that you want to keep creating and really pay attention to them, because that's the point that really matters. Thank you for joining me as we navigate uncertainty within this supportive community at New Jersey Career and Life Decision Lab. And I want you to spread the word. Invite one overthinking friend who's going through a big transition. We meet every Wednesday for just 30 minutes. I would love to have you, and I would love to see you there. The next step that I want you to take in life is practice allowing yourself to choose how you want to feel. And my name is Gloria Julian. I'm an associate certified coach, and I'll see you next time.